This is Tom D'Angelo, along with my colleague Anthony Chiang, and we're at the Miami Heat Media Day. We're going to bring you wall-to-wall Heat coverage all year, starting today. And Anthony, there was a lot happening today. The very first thing was Pat Riley meeting with a group of writers, and Pat Riley kind of unleashed, and he went off on the whole Chris Bosh situation. He spoke a lot about this team, and the biggest takeaway from that was there are two things. Pat Riley believes Chris Bosh has played his final game for the Miami Heat. That is clear. Riley saying that Chris failing the last physical as he did a week ago is not a good sign, and he does not expect Chris to ever play for the Heat again. And really that was probably something we thought was the case, but no one really had said it like that. And the other thing about Riley, he was not happy the way Chris characterized the Heat medical team during his entire process of trying to be cleared from having the blood clots the last 2 years. He does not like the way that Chris kind of just said that he was pushed aside and that the medical team didn't have Chris's best interests. And Pat was not happy over that, because he said he knows how hard this medical team has worked and the doctors work for this organization. Other than that, Anthony, with kind of the Chris Bosh and the big 3 era and Dwyane Wade, that is gone. We're entering into a whole new era for the Miami Heat. And how do you think this team will look? And what does Erik Spoelstra say about how this team will look without Bosh and without Dwyane?
Well, I think it's hard to say what this team is going to be. Even Spoelstra said he's curious to find out what this team will do, how it will come together. He said this training camp is going to be different than others he's been a part of, as far as so much evaluation is going to be involved this year, with a bunch of new faces on the roster. Half the roster, 10 new players out of 20. So it's going to be a totally different look. Goran Dragic and Hassan are the only two starters returning. That means there's going to be 3 new starters as well. There's a lot of question marks. Obviously no Wade, as Tom said, no Bosh. It's going to be very interesting to see what this team turns into. And I think the players, Spoelstra, all the coaches, Riley, they know that it's going to be a process. It's going to take some time for this team to come together, and they just have to be patient.
We got a little bit of a taste of that last year, the second half of the season, when after Chris Bosh went down with the blood clots, although they did have Dwyane Wade, so it is going to be even different. And just kind of wrapping up the whole Bosh situation, Erik Spoelstra talked about it too, and saying how close he is and how deeply personal this has been with him because of his relationship with Chris. And just spoke to Goran Dragic, and even though that we thought this was coming, the team is kind of shocked, and that's the exact word that Goran used. What he was shocked to hear, that he probably will never ever play another, minute of basketball with Chris. So that will wrap it up from Media Day here today. Anthony will be going to the Bahamas following the Heat this week as they travel and they start training camp, 5 days training camp, a tough assignment over in the Atlantis Hotel. And then we'll be back here for 3 weeks of training camp before the season starts. So be sure to follow us on Twitter, at Tom D'Angelo44 and
at Anthony_Chiang.
And on the Palm Beach Post website and our Heat Facebook page.